What else should I know about the prospecting side of things? Cold email, list building, anything on the prospecting side? What are some tips, tricks, any good stuff that I should know that I'm not asking right now?
Yeah, so I mean, we talked really high level about like the messaging, but what we haven't talked about is the reporting and the white label kind of reports that we give out. Rob, you want to touch on that one real quick? So there's another way that we add value beyond just sending out those cold emails. Completely differentiates ourselves from the marketplace and our agency customers. And a lot of our customers are taking this to a complete another level, and they're charging as a foot in the door for this service alone. And making money before they ever go and sell any other agency service. And it's really interesting. And like a lot of things have happened with this tool, it happened on just like pure happenstance. A customer did it and we're like, oh, that's really neat. Like we should talk about that. Let's do some more of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'll pick that up, Joe, because you're absolutely 100% correct. So the thing we found is nobody wants our logo and our branding all over everything they send out. Last thing you want to do is go, hey, it's Ed from Clickgeek here. Here's a report. It's got PPC Ad Lab plastered all over it. You're not going to do that. So we recognize and support our agency users, in particular, that white label was essential. So the first thing we did was make the platform completely white label. So you can use your own domain, your own logos, your own colors, your own contact forms, the things you would expect to be able to do. And customizable links. So in your email, or I'll just mention this, you don't have to just think about email. Think about LinkedIn and other places where you can outreach to people too. Personalized one-to-one email, a LinkedIn message going, hi, seeing where you are in your market, to show you who else is in there. It's a pretty compelling thing to do. So we've greatly personalized links. And each of those links is for every single advertiser we find, we create a personalized link just for them that you can send to them through whatever platform, be it email, LinkedIn, or anywhere else, Smoke Signal if you wish. But when they click on it, they will go to a white label report. And that report starts off with effectively a high-level summary data about how many advertisers there are, how many keywords, even the frequency with which ad extensions are seen or phone extensions are seen. What else is on the page, like local service ads, shopping ads, and maps. And I'll talk about those in a few more minutes. But those things all matter to account performance. You can then look in detail at any of those particular individual charts and tables of data and say, look at the ads, you can look at the competition, look at what's in shopping, you can look at what's in local service ads. All of those data points are available to you to look at. And it's like a high-level market report. Well, in fact, it's not even high level, it's quite a detailed market report of
right.
Who is playing in the market, which parts of the market are they in the LSAs? Are they just in the regular ads? If so, how often, how many ads? What average position are they in? What keywords are they running for? What times of day are they turning their ads off? Are they running weekends? So you really have got a detailed picture of who is advertising in that market, to what level, and how they're going about it. And we often find, and just for context, one keyword, one city, 1 week will typically have between 40 and 60 different advertisers showing up, which is mind blowing. I mean, that staggers me. And most agencies, and certainly most business owners, do not realize the depth of competition that they're playing against. And in fact, they often don't realize who the people they are competing against the most actually are. Google kind of shows you little bits of this information, but nowhere near enough detail. It's kind of truncated. It's not complete in any way, shape, or form. So actually showing people who their real competitors are is a big deal. So we facilitate that by making it your reporting, your service, not ours. And one of the things that we found when one of our early users went, hey, just let you know, Rob and Joe, I sent somebody this report as a foot in the door to start a conversation. They loved it and wanted it on a regular basis. So I've sold them a subscription. They are now subscribing to a monthly market report to show them how the market is changing over time, who the key players are, what's happening, when new offers are coming out into the market. So people are bringing in new ads. If Google are changing the page layout, there's new things coming in. And all I do is shoot a 5-minute video once a month talking about the report that they've got automatically.
That's awesome.
And people sell it as a service. We were like, It's a really smart idea. Didn't think of that, but yeah. So people are using it actually as a what we call a fulfilled by software offer. You know, there's no human deliverable in that for many people. It's just here's your link, end of the month, off you go.
Very cool. Do you see that being more applicable on the e-commerce side of things or on the localized side of things?
We've seen it on both. We've seen, actually where we have seen strong interest in this, and we've recently sold an enterprise level deal purely on the basis of two specific instances of this. It's multi-location businesses where there is a corporate and they're looking at not just how one location performs, but they're looking at how several locations perform. And they want to know who are their key players in each location, who is the key competition, where do they sit in that like community group relative to their peers. Solo locations don't tend to do that as much, but multi-locations are certainly interested in that high-level metric. We've just taken on from one client 120 franchise locations for exactly that. Now they have a second use case as well, which is also being sold as a standalone service by some of our agencies who are selling brand monitoring. Who's bidding on your brand? Because again, it's really hard to see. It's often accidental, but if you can take down brand competitors, either with a nice phone call, with an email, or with something more threatening if you wish to go down that route, you can often get better brand control, better brand leverage, not need to run too much brand ads, and get a better outcome for that. So for anybody who, and I think it's mainly for business owners, it feels uncomfortable people piggybacking on your brand. It's kind of like you're leveraging my brand name and my efforts to grow your business. That's not cool. And I can understand why many business owners don't like that. I've personally had that done to our old agency before we sold it. And it's equally flattering and freaking annoying.
Yep.
So those two kind of hands-off fulfilled by software offers have proved really popular so far.
Interesting. I would imagine on the franchise side and the multi-location side, for the research side for corporate to figure out where potential new territory opportunities are, that might be a good use case as well, looking to develop new areas.
Yeah, they use it as well to make sure the franchisees are behaving themselves and not advertising out of area. Because who would have thought it? Franchisees get sneaky and advertise slightly outside their limits. And the guy the next city over or the next zip code over doesn't like it very much.
No,
they take it seriously. They take it very, very seriously. So, but until now, they couldn't enforce it. It's one of those rules they had, but it's practically unenforceable. In fact, I've seen a 3,000 location franchise who tried to enforce it by their agency once a month. The intern would go and take screenshots.
Interesting.
I think the first month we ran for them, they found 5 franchisee infringements. We found 84.
Wow. And you know, Google's not doing any favors there on the ad allocation stuff.
Exactly.
Very cool.
I think you said something important, Rob, too, like that I want to point out. Like when we sell Google ads to somebody already running Google ads, you know, the only pitch that we can really have is we'll do a better job, which means we'll get you more leads and it'll cost less money, or some type of combination of the two. What I find is really cool with brand monitoring and some of the other things that we've brought up is like we're really able to invoke like the emotional side of the buyer, right? Or the prospect, instead of just the logical more for less or better quality. And so it really brings out a different sales kind of enablement angle, if you will, to really get them invested and upset and invested in really wanting to solve a problem instead of just more for less, which is what we're used to as as agency owners hearing, right?
Absolutely.
I think on that point actually as well, what we found, once people started asking for this, we started researching how big a thing is this. And what we found is that about in the tests we've run, we tested in the dental market just for interest, since the market we've got lots of experience in. About 70% of brand owners have people bidding on their brand, even the local industry like dentistry. Now, there's a good chance that at least half of that is accidental brand bidding, because they, you know, if you're South Tampa dentistry, well, it's a strong likelihood that people are going to be advertising on phrases relating to that. What they don't realise is the impact on their own account in terms of We know competitor ads are more expensive to buy. We know that the quality scores they get and ad relevancy scores are generally very, very low. So they're not doing a great service for the competitor who's bidding against you's account. And they're certainly not helping you as an advertiser. So actually by bringing that up, it's often an accidental bid, actually is in some respects kind of a service to the market as much as anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. The phrase match drives that, and pick a trade, pick a doctor. It's just that, and then you mix in removing the broad match modified, and you move all these things around, and not seeing search term reports anymore, or not seeing full conversion data in the search term report. You just start scratching your head because you know the big guy gets all that information that we're not privy to anymore. So having some level of insight into that to be an external tool, I think, is super powerful.
One of our favorite outreach methods that we haven't really talked about is putting in all kinds of crazy keywords, right? Stuff that people would never want to show up for, right? Plumber scam in Tampa, worst plumber in Tampa. And sending that, I mean, talk about invoking an emotional response from a prospect, right? Like, I don't know about you, but as an agency owner, like if I can invoke that emotional response, I have a much better chance of closing the deal. And like as an agency owner, usually it's really hard to pull those emotional strings, if you will.
That's a wild idea. That didn't even occur to me, running it that way. That is very interesting. I mean, you could make it appear for basically anything if you're on broad match. Yeah. I tell this story. We had a painter in Los Angeles many years ago. And it was the keyword was painter in Los Angeles, and the keyword that came in was hire a painter in Los Angeles to tie me up and paint me naked, and that was in the search term report. And we were like, "Oh my God." I was like, I don't even know what to say to that. I was like, that poor person.
That.
Yeah.